Lastly, in the Legends category, the East Coast Surfing Hall of Fame is proud to induct Florida's Ken Mcnair. Ken began surfing in the early 1960s and quickly proceeded to become a standout junior member of the legendary Surfboards Hawaii team that transformed into the Hobie Surf Team. This talented group of Central Florida surfers traveled and summarily dominated the whole East Coast. Ken won numerous junior division titles, including the Florida State Championship in 1968, the ECSC in '69, as well as the Atlantic States Championship the same year. Ken McNair was looked up to by everyone for his radical, cutting-edge surfing. He was defining the sport, and he was only 15 years old, if I believe that's correct. McNair also was an ace paddler, winning every event he entered, making him the #1 rated ESA paddler. He went on to represent the ESA at the 1972 ISA World Contest in San Diego. From 1971 to '75, McNair owned and operated MCC Sun and Surf Shop in New Smyrna Beach and built MCG surfboards. He worked deeper into the production surfboard industry as an airbrusher and glasser at CB Surfboards in New Smyrna Beach. This contributed to his incredible hand craftsmanship and manufacture of thousands of surfboards. Today, McNair is a lifelong musician, over 60 years, opening for incredibly famous bands across the country. I wish he could play his guitar for us tonight. He's a professional artist and an award-winning photographer, while maintaining his inexhaustible stoke of surfing, which he still does every day at New Smyrna Inlet. He posts pictures and tells stories that include shark sightings at New Smyrna Inlet. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy is a legend, Ken McNair.
Well, I tell you, you guys clean up real good for a bunch of scruffy surfers. Let me get my deal going here. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed members and inductees of the East Coast Surfing Hall of Fame, distinguished guests, friends, family, fellow surfers. I'm deeply honored and humbled to stand here tonight as a newly inducted member of the East Coast Surfing Hall of Fame. This recognition is not just a personal achievement, but a testament to the incredible journey that surfing has carved into my life. To be acknowledged alongside the legends and icons of East Coast surfing is a great honor. This sport, this lifestyle, has been my constant companion and a pure joy in my life, but it has given me a couple of good stories. So in the words of Jimi Hendrix, "Aw shucks, if my daddy could only see me now." But that wouldn't be correct. It should be, "Aw shucks, if my mommy could see me now." Because my dad would not let me have a surfboard. And in a sad turn of events, he contracted cancer and passed away when I was 13. I was pretty shook up about this. And my mom picked up on this. A week later, she took me to the Daytona Beach surf shop and bought me a brand new Miller 9-1 surfboard. And boy, is it beautiful. A short time later, we heard that Mickey Munoz was going to be in town. How many people know Mickey Munoz? Okay. How many people know of the Quasimodo? Raise your hand if you know what a Quasimodo is. Okay. If you don't know, it's this. And you had to do that in the tube. And then Mickey invented that, and it was in Surfer magazine. And so we all knew about this. Anyway, We went down to 13th Street surfing area that day when he was going to be there. And I paddled out, and I'd ridden a few waves, and I saw Mickey in the lineup. And there was an older guy named Charlie Blackwell that paddled up to me, and he said, "McNair, you need to go back to Flagler Avenue. You'll never amount to anything. You're a hodag." Well, that kind of pissed me off and lit a fire under me, and I didn't go in. I rode a few more waves, and as I paddled back out, I saw Mickey paddling into a nice 6-foot right barrel. He dropped in slow motion and did the most perfect Quasimodo right in front of me in the barrel and rode right by, and I looked up and I said, "I have just witnessed something amazing." Totally blown away. So fast forward to November 1967. And there was a huge contest at Flagler Avenue in New Smyrna. And all the big teams came: Kahn, Hobie, Surfboards Hawaii, Hanson, Weber. And I was in the semifinals of the vertically challenged midgets division. And Gary Proper was judging my heat. And my friend Jane O'Hara, who owned Smyrna Surf Shack, she was scoring for Gary. And Janie says to Gary, "Kim's going to win this contest." And Gary says, "Who's Kim?" And she said, "That's him right there." And I did the best drop knee cutback I'd ever done in my whole life, banked off the whitewater, crosswalked to the nose, hung 5 all the way across the wave, and kicked out. And Gary turns to Jane and says, "If he wins a contest, tell him to come talk to me. I'll put him on the Hobie team." And the Hobie team was as cool as it got back then. And I'm a little 13-year-old kid. So when I came out of the water, Janie came up and told me this, and I was flipping completely out. And another fire was lit under me. So I was inspired. I ended up winning the contest. And so after the award ceremony, some of my friends and I were standing close by to the Hobie surf team van. Dick Catree was in the driver's seat. Gary was in sitting shotgun. I was afraid to go talk to him. He was like a movie star. He was on the inside cover of Surfer magazine, every issue, it seemed like for years. So as I stood there, I heard the van crank up. And I ran over to knocked on Gary's window. He rolled the window down, and he said, "Oh, you're the kid that won the contest. Here's my phone number. Call me next week. I'll get you a new surfboard, a Hobie surfboard. You're on the Hobie team." And my friends were in earshot of this, and as they backed out and pulled away, I was just jumping up and down like a crazy little guy. So sometime later, I went to Cocoa Beach to the Easter Surf Festival. And I was standing in front of Shag's Surf Shop, which used to be on the pier, and watching the contest. And there were a couple of young guys standing about 6 feet away, and they were razzing me and calling me Southern Sam. Because you see, I had a pretty bad Georgia Southern accent at that time. And I had moved from South Georgia to New Smyrna. Gary overheard this. And he walked up behind these guys and he grabbed them by the back of the neck. And he said, "If you can surf as good as that guy, you can talk any way you want." And he said, "Beat it." And he turned to me and smiled and winked at me. And for that to happen to a little kid from Gary Proper was as cool as it could possibly be. So he had lit another fire under me. And I went on and ended winning the contest in the juniors division. You know, I'm grateful for each wave the ocean has given me. And it's been my teacher for 60 years. It's taught me patience, respect, incredible beauty of our oceans, and every wave has been unique and an opportunity to connect with something I love so much. This honor is a celebration of surfing, a community that thrives on camaraderie, respect, and profound love for our Mother Ocean. As we stand here tonight, let's not only celebrate the past, but also look to the future. Let's continue to nurture the next generation of surfers and encourage them. When you see a novice in the lineup having a hard time, paddle over and offer a couple of tips. They will love you for it. Because we all know that surfing is really hard. If you just don't surf for a month and you try to paddle out in the lineup, you know what will happen. It's not going to be good. I'm totally stoked to be a member of the East Coast Surfing Hall of Fame. And to all my fellow surfers, may our passion for surfing continue to unite us and inspire generations to come. And thank you from the bottom of my heart for this honor.